Right, today we're going to change the front sprocket and the chain on this lovely motorcycle, Triumph Speed 400. First remove the front sprocket cover. It's 3 bolts. They look like 8mm. I believe one of them is short and the other 2 are long. I think the torque spec for these is just tight enough. The plastic cover with metal inserts, so it's more of an accessory thing. It's not really a load bearing structure. Anyway, that's the cover. Now we have to get this piece of English engineering off. 2 hex Allen key nuts, one here, holding this thing on, this front cover. Which is probably best, but to keep it out of the way, I have to undo them. Just a little screwdriver. Just going to stick it in that little hole. Just leave that plastic bit up out of the way, and that should just pop off. Just clears those little tabs. You can leave that there. You can access it enough. Now I have to get some little nut drivers. Look about probably M5 or M6. Twists very easily here. You can see last time I did it up, it actually twisted this in slightly. And this is just made out of quality Chinese steel. So you've got to be careful with that. These are also not very tight. It's just clamping metal to metal just so a cover plate stays on. It's not exactly structural. This main little plastic cover here is, plastic. You don't want to over torque that. So, and that's just some cable guide integrated into the bracket, which is, more quality English engineering. You know what I mean about it? It can bend quite easily because it's just tin. So quality Chinese steel for the algorithm. And this plate comes off. And then we have the front sprocket. But there's the damn dirty nut I have to remove. Now, some people online say that this nut is actually reverse thread. So I'm going to just test that theory. No, it's not. I can see that the thread comes up in an anti-clockwise, which means undoing it, you do it anti-clockwise. So there's this little tab washer which you have to knock out of the way. Allegedly made out of some cheap metal like a cover. That's more than enough. A bit janky, but it's a Triumph. Now this is a 27mm nut, and you probably don't want to use a torque wrench like railgun spec socket for that, because they are inherently weaker metal, thicker but weaker, so they flex more, which allows them to work with the torque gun. You really do want chrome vanadium if you're going to use hand tools, because yes, they're more brittle and they'll shatter, but they hold torque better for a torque wrench application, which we're going to end up torquing this up to 148 Newton meters. We'll put it back on. Get this from the right size. Perfect. Alright, so lucky Lucy, I have to do it this way, but I don't want to, I need to use the rear brake a bit to keep the chain from moving. So that's what I've done do at 148 Newton meters. So I might grab my patented torque expander. So I just noticed with my, this is straight from the factory, It didn't actually take much force. I mean, admittedly, I do have my jack handle, aka torque expander, cheetah bar, as they're also known. But yeah, that didn't take much effort at all. I'm actually mildly disappointed. It didn't feel like 148 newton meters at all. So I'm just going to leave that on for now. So that's loose. I'm just going to leave it loose for now because I want to get the back wheel off, because I'm going to break the chain. So that's the next thing, break the chain. I'm going to remove the chain because one way or another we're replacing that piece of junk from the factory, aka quality engineering from India. Unlike the Z, this thing has a captive, like the end of the axle is actually flattened off on both sides, so it fits in a slot. So on the Z, the other side is a nut. You have to put 2 wrenches on it to get it off. This one you just have to undo the one side, which is actually surprisingly thoughtful of them. But I want to basically make it really easy to get the chain off. I'm not doing the rear sprocket at this point because I don't have a rear sprocket. There isn't much wear on the rear sprocket. It's fairly new. So I'm just going to live with that until the rear sprocket turns up. But the chain is ruined, so I'm going to get that off now. I have to break one of these links. And I'll take this one because it's captive there. Safety first. Yeah. I picked this thing up a while back. I don't know how useful it is. I was about to find out. Use it for breaking the chain, pressing and riveting. So we'll soon find out. Something like that. And press it with this fucker. Look, and snappy rooty doody. It's already done. Set und press. Oh, this poor screwdriver wants it down the tools without a gouge, eh? So you can see that the cap, little O-rings, this is how you know it's an O-ring seal, O-ring chain. These actually look like X-rings, which is interesting because that would indicate a high quality chain. But I know that's bullshit. O-rings as well. Alright, so that's loose. Now we can get the chain off. Now with the bike in neutral, I should be able to just bring that over. An old chain. See, just looking at that, give it a jiggle, you know. You can see right around where I chopped it, there's at least 2 links there that are tight and bound. Which should mean the other end is fucked here because it was all in the one spot. Right, so today we're going to be fitting this fucking thing. An RK chain. It's one of the better Japanese made ones, because I don't know who makes the British ones, but they can piss off. A new front sprocket, 16 tooth. It's a little bit different from the one that's on there. Doesn't have a rubber push mount thing. But the only thing I'm worried about is the centre spline. Should be the same. That's going to go in there, as long as the spine on the inside's the same. It's the same pitch. This is lightweight, because this is a performance machine. Lightweight is better, but I really don't think it makes any difference. Okay, let's put the bike back in gear, so the engine can hold the pulley for me. Come on, baby. There we go. This got enough. Oh, see why they say it's that's probably why they seize up, because they've used some sort of green snot that I presume is some kind of anti-seize, but it's just turned into like Pringles. Oh my god, that is fucked. What the fuck? Who put that on? Okay, so like the spline washer thing that's meant, I mean, it's a sacrificial piece anyway. It's just as a safety for the nut. But they've pushed that on with like a sledgehammer and mangled half the teeth on it. Again, classic British Indian engineering. Ugh. There's the old one. Very chunky boy. Is it even roughly the same size? Not really. But I'm now concerned that is now about half a centimetre too close to the bike. Alright, so I'm just going to clean out that. I gave it a proper cleaning. Well, I cleaned a lot of shit out of it last time, but it's fucking disgusting. So, I'll give it a squirt. Wipe. Oh my god, there's metal in there. This is one of those things you have to do every other day on a Triumph. Clean all the shit out of it. Looks like the thread's torn. And the output shaft, the thread is damaged on the output shaft. Straight from the factory. I mean, this is basically a new bike. I've never taken that bolt off. It looks like it's been, I don't know, like it's just badly forged or something. And they just went, oh well, don't put it in the scrap heap, put it on the bike. So now I'm just going to put the new sprocket on, which is this baby. Slightly larger, this is a 16th tooth. The stock one for the Speed 400 is a 15 teeth. So I'm going to go slightly larger front sprocket. So this, when this spins one revolution, it's going to pull more chain through, which means that the bike will, the final drive ratio is a bit higher, meaning the back wheel will turn slightly more per each revolution of the output shaft. Put the new sprocket on, easy peasy. The old bashed your mother bloody sprocket thing. I'm only going to do this hand tight for now because I just need to feed the chain through. I want the chain to hold the sprocket in place while I turn it and not put too much load on the crankshaft by tightening that bolt. There's really no other way to hold it in place. So the next step is to get the back wheel up so I can feed the chain and the back wheel can move. I can feed it along the top of the sprocket, feed the new chain over that sprocket, put it in neutral so I can pull it through back to this end, have the two ends meet up here. Before I do that, I want to pull the adjuster as far in as I can, so that I'm not putting a new chain on where I could have actually had an extra link taken out. And, so the adjusters have a lock nut at the front. It's 12mm. The actual adjuster bolt is 10mm. So I'm just going to undo that lock nut, wind it out of the way. Just going to wind the adjuster all the way in so it's got the most amount of play possible. Now put it up on the jack stand so I can feed the chain in. Now the back wheel's free to move, so I can feed the chain in on the top, feed along the chain guard there, hopefully get it to come out here and feed around the front pulley, so this should be in neutral, which it's not. Stick that in neutral. And then I'll feed around there, feed it back underneath, make it match up at the back. So here's our fancy new chain. Okay, so it comes with a master link that is not rivetable. It says here, do not eat chain grease. Seems like a fair thing, but I'm not sure about the clip. I thought these were rivetable. I don't want a clipped one, I want a riveting one. It's not a huge problem. I just generally prefer the riveted links because they are permanent. A clipped one can come off on its own. It's highly unlikely. I'm just going to kind of put that together. Make sure all the bits are there before I start. Not that I can do anything else now because the chain is no longer on the bike, so I can't put it back on. But all the bits are there for Master Link, so I'm happy with that. The new chain. Oh, so slimy. So sexy. Japan. These motherfuckers know how to make a chain. Alright. So we take one end. Try not to twist it because you'll damage it. Try not to get too much dirt on it. Now we'll just feed that. Oh, this is where you take the chain guard off, I suppose, but or you just do a magic roll and just push it through anyway. At the moment of truth, it doesn't fit on the chain guard. Just look at that, very close tolerance, but it fits. Where are you? Oh me, there it is. Now you have to get it to match up such that if you put the link on, it would go. See how that's just never going to work because you wouldn't be able to put a master link there. There's already a link here, so it has to be the next one back. So that's what I mean. So now we've identified which one we want to take off. So we'll chop him here. We'll just grind that plate off there. 52. Would have had 52 links, 52 pairs of links. So it's 104 links. So that means I would have had to chop off 16 links. I'm going to cut off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm going to cut off 16 links, which will make this 104 link chain, which is what the original had. So as you can see, you can't really fuck it up. Okay, ready for a master link. Okay. See, Japanese. Comes off even when you've got greasy fingers. Just put that jizz on there. That's the good stuff. A little bit, just push that through from the back. Because on the front we want to push the actual bit that connects them together on. Circlet jobby. Come on, in the hole, there we go. Make sure it's seated properly. Nice. Oh, stick it in the hole. Oh yeah, that's greased. That's some slimy shit there. End cap on. Pretty close. Now we have to use the rag. Get all this crap off my fingers. Pressing chain plate. Guide plate. Press plate. And the instructions are so good. Like a thumb in the bum. Can be wound in. Continuing. This fits on the wee bitch. So here I've got the master link in. I clamped it down until I could see the little catches on the tips of these pins for the this clip to fit onto. I'll just position the clip there Yes, it is just in the notch. So now I just have to tighten it, snap that into place. Pretty sure there's a tool for this, but I don't have it. Let's give it a tap with the tapometer. Just got to get it on. Okay, it's definitely going the right way. Now I'm just going to use the pliers. Definitely inside the guides, so that's good. I just need to motivate it now. As good as it's going to get. Just give it a little wiggle. Make it sure. Definitely don't want that falling off. Just want to pull the chain back as much as I go. That's close. So I might just nip the axle up for now, not to full torque, just so it doesn't move. And I can get off the jack stand, so I can align the back wheel off the jack stand, and it's a lot easier to deal with when it's on the ground. Okay, so the torque wrench setting needs to be 146 Newton meters. Seems a lot, but you don't want that coming loose. Alright, so this just has to be tightened up to 146 newtons. Let's get it going. See, now we're pushing against the chain, which I don't want to move. So let's push on the brake, make sure that's seated properly. Ah, what's that? Funny washer to lock it in place. It's popping on there. Alright, I just have to replace the cover and then adjust the back wheel properly. One of these things has a stupid little washer. I'm going to assume that's metal on metal. And the other thing is a big fat washer. I'm going to assume that goes on plastic to spread the load so the plastic doesn't snap. So that would be annoying, just after all this fucking effort. Alright, I'll just nip that up so she'll be right, mate. Because as you'll see in a second, this whole bracket twists. And you've got to clip these back onto those little nobbins. These things is not like the others. These nuts is fucking short. That's it. New chain done. Just have to adjust the back wheel. I'm just going to use the markers that they give you to get in the ballpark. So I've got it so that the shim there is just hiding the 7th dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Too tight already. Back that off. Get that stump. Let's check that with a ruler. Should be 20 to 25 millimeters of play on the speed 400, which you measure in between the rear sprocket and the front sprocket, so about there. Which is a pain because in their infinite wisdom they put an exhaust pipe there. So fortunately, yeah, you can get enough of you. You want to get the same point on the chain on the wall. So that's at 60, that's at 40, so that's 20 millimeters of slack. So exactly minimum. So you don't want any tighter than that. Now just got to make sure the left and the right side are the same. Cool, so that looks about right. So the last step is to do a proper rear wheel alignment, which is actually quite simple. This is some high-tech shit right here. You have a piece of string that reaches from one end of the bike to the other, both ways. You get one end, here, front wheel, drag it back, and on the centre point, one end of this string needs to go the other side. Just tape it to the tyre. Not control anymore. Down pretty low because you want it just underneath the brake caliper, the brake disc. Okay, so the string is stuck to the tyre. I'll take the other ends and in that way. So that should all be good. So when you pull it tight, it goes across the tyre, and when you pull both ends tight, you need to, you can see it kind of buzz and vibrate when you're tugging it. It should just touch the front of the tyre and then no more. You don't want to go like that. It's just until it just touches it, and at that point you can see where the back wheel is tracking. And the tracking of the back wheel should be exactly in the centre of the front wheel. But line up your front handlebars a bit so they're straight. And then take both sides. Figure out where it's tracking. Right there and right there. So it's a little bit that way. So it's a little bit with the back of the wheel is too far that way, but only by a fraction. It's good enough. So I can either do that by extending this side out a bit, but I don't want to touch the side because the chain's a good amount. So I'll pull the other side in a bit. About half a turn. Check that again. It should be perfect. That's so close, I'm not even going to worry about it now. Lift up the rear axle so that the adjusters aren't moving. not to torque just yet, but just to double check everything's tight. Check this one's not loose, because if the adjusters are loose, it'll rattle and annoy the shit out of you. Before we tighten up the axle, do a final check of the clearance, because sometimes tightening up the axle can pull it out of alignment slightly. And I know it's in alignment now, but it can shift a little bit. And you don't want to just then tighten it up and realise 2,000 kilometres later that actually it was too tight and you've just damaged something. So that's about 62 millimetres to 42, 43. So that's 25 millimetres. So you're just marking around with it, it's actually gone up by 5 mil, but it's still within specs, 20 to 25 mil. So I'm happy with that. The chain will loosen a lot over the first 1,000 Ks as all this extra waxy shit they put on wears off. So I'll just nip up these adjuster lock nuts and then torque the rear axle 98 Newton meters. That's it. Done. Wheel aligned, new chain, new front sprocket. Covers are all on. Finished.